Shalom, my fellow Ox and Akawats of the 12 tribes of Israel, and those that follow we Hebrew Israelites in truth. I am Achaz Baraj, Edna Amihud, a mighty king lion of the tribe of Judah. I am a chief Hebrew Israelite, an agent and ambassador of and for the Most High. I was born in North America, Republic, and I am domiciled in the kingdom of heaven on earth. The Most High has me making this video to speak about his Hebrew Israelites being regulated as so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. situations. The jailing, imprisoning of his people, our people, and the murdering of his people, our people, as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, with impunity. What is the definition of regulation? Regulation is a noun. The first definition of regulation is a rule, a directive made and maintained by an authority. The second definition of regulation is the action or process of regulating or being regulated. Many do not understand or are unaware of the fact that our oppressors, the so-called white Edomites, governmental system is established specifically for the Hebrew Israelites. Even their school system, they give a curriculum for 12 years to dumb down the 12 tribes of Israel. How the Most High Hebrew Israelites, from the day they were born, have entered into contracts and continue to enter into contracts with Satan, making us what you call regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. The Most High has me here to speak about how he has chosen me and have given me a mission like many others to do his will in order that his will be done according to prophecy. John 15:16 King James Version says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you." The Most High has me here to speak to you about that mission, what that mission consists of, and what the Most High is having me to do to fulfill that mission he has given me. First off, all we Hebrew Israelites are not citizens, are so-called sovereign citizens under federal statute 8 USC 1101 A21 or A22B. We Hebrew Israelites are not U.S. regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. citizens under federal statute 8 USC 1401. Our identity and nationality are not regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. Our official names are not European, and our official language is not English. Our identity and nationality is Israelite. Our language and names are Hebrew. We Hebrew Israelites are being jailed, imprisoned, and murdered with impunity as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc., because we have entered into contracts as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc., with our oppressors, that we must rescind. We must rescind these contracts. One of the contracts I speak about that we have entered into with our oppressors is the marriage contract, making our oppressors God over us as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc., instead of Hebrew Israelites that belongs to the Most High. We have to go to our oppressors to get married as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. That is not biblical. We have to go to our oppressors to get a divorce as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. Even that is not biblical. Another contract we have entered into with our oppressors as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. are the birth certificates given to our fathers and mothers or mothers to sign when we first was born, making us wards of the state and federal government as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. We don't belong to the Most High or our parents as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. Another contract we have entered into with our oppressors are Social Security cards. Our fathers and mothers, our mothers requested and signed when we were first born or after we were born, placing a number on us, further making us wards of the state and federal government as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. Because of that contract, we no longer belong to the Most High or our parents as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. Another contract we have entered into with our oppressors are job applications we entered into as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. to work for our oppressors, further making us a slave of the state and federal government through the filing of taxes. Because of that contract, we no longer belong to the Most High as regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. What our oppressors have done to us and their own people is what Satan tried to do to our Messiah, but he refused according to Scripture. Matthew 4 verse 8 through 10, King James Version says, Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and said unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then said Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Because we have agreed to accept Satan's benefits, we have become regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc., the property of our oppressors that are able to put us in jail and murder us with impunity. However, there is a way out of the contracts that we unknowingly and unintentionally entered into with our oppressors that have deceptively coerced us into entering. The mission the Most High has given me is called the Second March to Exodus movement. Through the Second March to Exodus movement, the Most High had me to create our Hebrew Israelite flag, declaration, tribal identification, and automobile tags. Through the lawful sovereign and spiritual Hebrew Israelite declaration, identification, and automobile tags processes, we can rescind the regulated so-called blacks, African Americans, etc. identity and nationality contracts we have entered into with our oppressors and reclaim our Israelite names, identity, and nationality according to scriptures and prophecy. The Most High has given me the power and sovereignty to give to his children of Israel, my people, according to prophecy. How many of you shall try my works and search out my counsel according to scripture and prophecy to rescind their fake regulated so-called blacks, African American, etc. identity, nationality, and European names? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 3, King James Version says, For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your work? Search out your counsels. Many have through the lawful sovereign and spiritual Hebrew Israelite declaration, identification, and automobile tags processes declared their true Hebrew Israelite identity and nationality. They have received their Hebrew Israelite declaration, identification, and automobile tags. The Most High has anointed me, and the Spirit of the Most High is upon me, according to prophecy. Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1, King James Version says, The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord had anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prisons to them that are bound. The Most High hath had me to create a flag to set the banner for the true children of Israel, according to the scripture and prophecy. Psalms chapter 20, verse 5, King James Version says, "We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our God we will set up our banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions." Psalm 60, verse 4, King James Version says, "Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth." Shalom. Isaiah chapter 5, 26, King James Version says, "And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly." Isaiah 13, chapter 13, verse 2. King James Version says, "Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt thy voice, unto them shake the hand, and they may go into the gates of the nobles." The Most High have had me to go to the White House with our flag and with our others to give Obama and the whole world warning that he, the Most High, has and is calling his people back to him. The Most High have had me to go to the Capitol with others to give warning to our oppressors. The Most High have had me to go to the United Nations with others to give warning to our oppressors. I have gone to jail with others for giving those warnings to our oppressors. The Most High have had me to stand in state and in federal court for many Hebrew Israelites under their Hebrew names that have gone through the lawful sovereign and spiritual Hebrew Israelite declaration, identification, and automobile tags processes. Those that have declared their true Hebrew Israelite identity and nationality. We Hebrew Israelites, as regulated blacks, African Americans, etc., are being compelled and coerced into following fictional, corporate, statutory rules and regulations that's putting us in jail and murdering us under color of law. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment rights to freedom of speech and victimless and non-corpus delicti prosecutions. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment rights to freedom of expression and victimless and non-corporate delicti prosecutions. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment rights to freedom of conscience and victimless and non-corporate delicti prosecutions. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment right to associate with our Israelite nationality in victimless and non-corporate delicti prosecutions. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment right to disassociate from victimless and non-corporate delicti prosecutions. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment right to travel, move, and victimless and non-corporate delicti prosecutions. As Hebrew Israelites, we must stop being regulated as blacks, African Americans, etc., and exercise our First and 14th Amendment right to assemble and victimless and non-corporate delicti prosecutions. We must not let the fake regulated black African Americans, etc. identity go completely because we still have to live and survive until we exit it. You must learn how to switch from your Hebrew identity to protect yourself and how to switch to your business identity to conduct business. What we have to do is take control of the fake regulated black African American etc. business identity since it was given to us as a business and to conduct business. The regulated black African American etc. identity is actually a corporation that we do our business through. If you notice, all of your bills come to you in all capital letters and in the name of your government name and issued identification. That is the sign of a corporation. That is what they see you as, a corporation under our regulated black African American etc. identity, nationality, European names.